Okay, all right, folks, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you guys for attending. It's always a pleasure to have you guys participate in these webinars that we bring to you. We try to bring quality content, and I do have the pleasure today of introducing a young gentleman that I'm actually quite proud of. Haven't had a chance to meet him yet, but he's a young brother out here, and he definitely has his act together. I actually had the pleasure of attending a webinar that he hosted about a week ago, and I was really, really, really impressed. Just his delivery, the depth of knowledge that he has about the wholesaling business, and the fact that he's very, what's the word I'm looking for? He's very innovative in his approach. A lot of people get comfortable and they get stagnant when they have a little bit of success and they kind of plateau out. And this dude just seems to be taking it to the next level with each and every stride. I checked him out on YouTube and a few other places, and this guy's got a pretty decent following. And, anybody that has consistency will go far in this business. And one of the things that I can see right off the bat is that this guy is consistent. One of the ways I know this is because I actually signed up to receive some of his newsletters and emails and things, and I actually received in one day about 4 different emails from Mike. And I was like, okay, this guy is really, really, really into the marketing thing. So, that was definitely a sign there that this guy is in it to win it. And, to me, that says something. That says that, this guy is definitely about his business. And, he knows what he's doing for sure. So, pretty much today's meeting is it's about how you can not only just wholesale, but how you can capitalize on leveraging your efforts through outsourcing many of the activities that you would have in the wholesaling business. Okay, Mike is definitely an expert in that area. He probably won't, say that he is. He seems to be a pretty humble guy. But bottom line is, based on what I've seen him put out there, I can tell that he's definitely an expert in this area. I myself have a few years experience with outsourcing and using a team and, really leveraging and multiplying my efforts. And, Mike suggested some avenues and some ways to outsource that I hadn't thought of. And I said, wow, these are pretty interesting ideas that he has. So, with that said, I think we're all going to be able to learn a few things from this guy here. Now, what I'm going to try to do here is see if I can get Mike unmuted. Mike, are you there? Okay, apparently he's not at the moment. Mike, let me go ahead and unmute everyone, and that way I know.
Mine should be muted. Oh.
Okay, Mike, are you there? Okay, we'll give him a little time. Maybe he's having some phone difficulties. Mike. Okay, I'm sure he'll probably call me in a second. All right, well, let's go ahead and move on. Just to give you guys a quick overview of what we're going to discuss today. Outsourcing can be defined in many different ways. I like to stick with the experts and hear what they have to say. And so what I did was I went to Wikipedia, and Wikipedia has their own definition of outsourcing. According to Wikipedia, outsourcing is the contracting of an internal business process to a third-party organization. The practice of contracting a business process rather than staffing it internally. is a common feature in the modern economy. Now, it goes on to say some other things, but you get the general idea just based on that introductory definition. Outsourcing is something that every business person should consider at some point in their career, preferably in the beginning, right? Of course, when you put together your long-term plan, it's definitely beneficial for you to understand your own systems and for you to have experience in working those systems. But as quickly as you can learn the process and document that process, you should be thinking about outsourcing that process. Okay, I'm a firm believer that you get into business and you don't want your business to control you. You get into business so you can acquire a certain lifestyle. And a lot of us get into business and we let the business become our lifestyle. And a lot of times that's not a comfortable lifestyle. The business and your activities should provide you with something that is liberating, something that gives you freedom, instead of being tied to a desk and being a slave to the cell phone and a slave to your clients, running on their clock, and basically being on their call. If you outsource correctly, if you do it effectively, it can be an extremely profitable way of doing business. Personally, I never want to go back to doing business as a sole proprietor again ever in my career. Okay, the experience that I've built with building teams, I only have one virtual assistant at this point. She's very good. I have another gentleman, actually. Let me say I have two. I have one guy who's kind of a temp, and he is based in the Philippines, and he does an excellent job, but I only use him from time to time. So I have a full-time virtual assistant who's based in Florida, and then, of course, I have my team that's here locally. So Mike seems to have virtual assistants that work in niche areas of his business. And because of that, he's able to multiply his efforts tremendously, especially on the in the area of social media. Mike does a lot of videos, and and I know other instructors as well that use that same method of outsourcing their social media activities through their virtual assistants, and it's an excellent strategy. Many of you guys on the call tonight are members of Exit Bennett Realty, and in the sales meeting that we had last night, there was a young lady who stood up and she talked about being on active rain, right? If you guys aren't on active rain, number one, you definitely want to get on active rain. Number two, that posting and blogging on active rain is something that you can outsource to a VA. So if you take that initiative to, number one, learn about active rain, number two, figure out a system to outsource your posting and your blog, things like that, your business can skyrocket. I mean, it can literally skyrocket. So without any further ado, we're going to see if Mr. Nelson was able to get on the line. Mike, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome. All right. Okay, so Mike, I know you got a long presentation that you have for these folks, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. I don't want to steal any of your thunder. As I said, I was definitely impressed with the last presentation, and I think the folks tonight will be equally impressed. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and give you the controls here, Mike, and you can go ahead and do your thing, buddy.
All right. All right, just let me know when you guys can see my screen.
Okay, I can definitely see it.
All right. So I guess if you can see it, everybody else can see it?
I'm sure they can.
All right. Okay. I just want to thank Arona for having me on this call this evening. he spoke of another presentation that I did, and I just want to give you guys a run through of that presentation that I did. And ultimately, like you said, I'm a wholesaler, and I specialize in outsourcing and virtual wholesaling. And a lot of people just recently, they've witnessed what I've been doing in the outsourcing arena. So, towards the end of the presentation, I'm going to give you guys a bonus, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what it is that I do as far as outsourcing. But today, one of the things that I want to cover is basically how to flip houses with no cash, no credit, and no experience. The way that I'm going to do that is I have a 5-step formula that I use to flip houses in your own city in 30 days or less, even if you're not an expert at anything. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are, you're sitting out there right now and you're probably like, come on, son, like we've heard it all before. We've seen it on TV. And, I know that you're not about to just, give us all of this. You can do it in 30 days or less, and you can do it without any cash. But honestly, that's some of the things that I just want to talk to you guys this evening about. But first, what I want you guys to do is I want you to just sit there and I'm going to read out these 3 statements, and I want to know which one best fits you. You don't have to respond, but, one of these fit someone that's on this call. So you're probably an individual that's always wanted to get into real estate, but you don't know where to start. So you probably got out there and you watched HGTV, flip a house, and you probably said, hey, I want to get started in real estate. Well, I was that individual at one point in time. I used to watch HGTV. I actually love HGTV, still watch it today. They had those designer shows on there, and people come in and they design houses. I enjoy it because I love real estate. Or you have an idea on how to flip properties, but you haven't done anything yet. Either, you're a realtor or whatnot, and you know about this wholesaling process and flipping properties, but you just haven't went out there and researched it, and you haven't done anything. Well, today I'm going to go over some of those things that can actually get you out there and get you started. Or you've flipped a couple of properties, you've wholesaled a couple of properties, and but you just aren't consistent at doing it. Mm-hmm. Some of the things that I'm going to cover is it's going to teach you guys how to be consistent at doing it. Mm-hmm. So here's what we'll be covering. The easiest form of real estate investing that has little to no risk and is extremely profitable. You guys got to trust me here. What I'm going to go over is it's extremely profitable and there's little to no risk at all. And also I'm going to give you guys...
Mike. Let me interrupt you here for 1 second. If you can, I want to go ahead and get the attendees in the mute mode. So if you can, just go ahead and convey the control back, and that way, because I want everybody else to be able to hear exactly what you're saying. So
okay,
yeah, if you don't mind, real quick.
Communicative and
okay.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Go ahead. You can go ahead with your question. What is your name, by the way?
What's your question?
I'm sorry. I can wait until the end.
It's okay. I mean, we trying to transfer. He's trying to put everybody on.
Yeah, because I'm going to put everyone in mute. But you have the opportunity to answer get your question asked. And again, you have the opportunity now if you'd like to take it. Okay. All right. So we'll go ahead and hold questions until the end. She sounds a little shy back there. She probably doesn't want to put a question out there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put you guys in mute. And we're going to unmute Mike so Mike can go ahead and do his thing.
Okay.
All right, Mike. There you go. You're back on, buddy.
All right. Let me know when you can see it.
I can see it.
All right. Okay. For everybody, sorry for the delay, but here's what we're going to be covering. The easiest form of real estate investing that has little to no risk and is extremely profitable. Also, I'm going to give you guys techniques that you can use right now to get started and get out there and flip a property within 30 days. And also what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys ways to become consistent at closing deals and how to hire people for little to no money out of pocket to do this for you and to help you become consistent. Actually, I just received an email from someone about 5 minutes ago that basically she's helping me become consistent, and I'm able to do more deals. And I'll tell you guys about that towards the end of what it is that she's doing for me. But I want to tell you guys a little bit about me, and Arona Hees gave you guys a little brief bio, but I figured what better way to teach you guys about me than telling you how I almost went broke on my first real estate transaction. My first real estate transaction, it was a learning experience, and I can just leave it at that. But first I want to tell you guys something. It all started after college. So I went to college. I went to Virginia State University on a track scholarship. I went down to Virginia. My whole goal was when I in high school was I'm going to go to college. I'm going to get an education, have a little fun while doing it, and then I'm going to go out there and I'm going to get a job. And I thought that I was going to be making six figures out of college with a business degree. I mean, honestly, it was realistic. I had my mindset that I go to college because you get a degree. That's what everybody told me, and they said that this is what you're supposed to do. So I went out there in college. I had an internship, 2 internships actually. I had experience in the corporate world, a Fortune 500 company, and I went out there and I got a job. And when I got a job, I was making, I told you guys I was expecting to make 6 figures. I made $32,500 my first year on my job. And that was far away from what I was expecting to make. I mean, I was grateful that I had a job. I graduated in 2009, and it was one of the worst real estate market, it was one of the worst real estate markets ever. Yeah, and it was also one of the worst job markets ever. And it was painful. But I was grateful that I had a job. One of the people who I grew up with, we went to high school together. We went to college together. We lived together in college. This is my best friend. This is my partner right here, Darren Smith. Me and Darren, like I said, we grew up in the same neighborhood in Philadelphia. We went down to Virginia together. We went to college together. Well, one day, me and Darren, we got on the phone, and Darren said, he said, Mike, he said he had a job after college as well. We both graduated the same year, and he said, man, we got to do something. We can't do this. You know, we're making this little bit of money. We came from an area where, you know, we thought that if we went to college, we was going to be better. We was going to better ourselves. We was going to have a better, we were going to provide a better living for our family. And at this point in time, that was not what we expected. So he told me, he said, Mike, you know what? You got to read this book. I just read it, and you have to read it. And the book was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Now, for those of you out there who read the book, I'm pretty sure that it had some impact on you. Well, this book had an impact on my life, I can say. He told me to get the book. I went out there on Amazon. I got the book, have an Amazon Prime membership, so it came within like 2 days. And that book came, and I opened it up, and ever since I opened it, and once I opened it up, I never closed it until I finished, and I got to the back of that book. And once I got to the end, I gave Darren a call, and I said, listen, I said, we have to get into real estate. I said, we got to get into this real estate. In this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he talks about signing contracts. He talks about flipping houses. And I didn't know exactly what it was at the time, but I knew that you can make money doing it. And he talked about cash flow. And it just seemed like this was our calling. This is what we had to do. So we did research. We went out there. We researched. We watched videos on YouTube. And lo and behold, we ended up getting a property under contract. We didn't know what we was doing, but we found somebody who was motivated enough to sell their property to these 2 uneducated individuals on real estate. And this guy, he called us. He told us he was interested in selling his property. We had an ad on Craigslist, and we're like, okay, yeah, let's do it. So this is the house, all right? This house is actually renovated right now. It was renovated, and they recently sold it. But at the time, the seller of the house, he let us get this property under contract for, I believe, $75,000. Okay, we got a realtor to go out to give us comps on the property, and we found out the property was worth around $280,000. Now, you don't even have to know anything about real estate to know that you can get something for $75,000 and it's worth $280,000. That you got something on your hands. And we knew that we had something on our hands, so we got it under contract. And this guy signed the contract, but then he called up. He let us know. He said, "You know what? I want $2,000 earnest money deposit." So I said, "Okay, let me talk to my partner and I'll get back to you." So I called my partner Darren. I said, "This guy wants $2,000." He said, "Man, where are we gonna get $2,000 from?" I said, "I don't know, but we can make a lot of money on this deal, so let's find out." So we ended up going into our 401ks, pulling money out of our savings, and granted, we didn't have any money or too much money in our 401ks at the time because we just got out of college and we just started working. So
now I gotta ask, Mike, did you even think that the $2,000 was negotiable at that time, or did you just think whatever he says we got to go with?
We didn't know what we was doing. I didn't know how to negotiate anything. I was just thinking to myself, okay, he needs this money.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, today I would have said, hey, let's negotiate something. But he said, no, I want this money. So what happened was we ended up taking this money out, and we said, okay, we got your $2,000. So this guy says, okay, send it to me. I'm like, okay, send it to you. He said, yeah, I want you to send me the money. I said, okay, how can we send it to you? He said, okay, send it to me through PayPal. So we sent this guy $2,000 through PayPal. I will never, and I hope none of you guys will ever send any money through PayPal to on a property. Well, we sent him this $2,000, and make a long story short, this deal did not close. The guy had an issue with the title company, and he did not close this deal with us. He kept our $2,000, and he sold the property to an investor who then rehabbed it. And this is the property after it's been rehabbed. They turned the property completely around, but this guy, he sold the property to the other guy for $75,000, and it sold for $280,000. So the property, and actually we had a contractor go out there and give us an estimate, and he said it only needed $60,000 in repair. So this deal, it hurt us. I mean, we lost $2,000. We had a buyer lined up, and we was going to assign this contract for $22,000, and it all fell through. But we did not let that get to us. Me and my partner, we ended up, talking to each other, and we said, hey, listen, we got to get over this. We know people are out there making money. We've seen the videos on YouTube. We've seen everything, Mark Witt and Marcel Humphrey. We've seen Preston, everybody. They were making money in real estate, and we knew that we could do it as well. So that's where we got started. We didn't let it pass us by, so we ended up going out there and marketing for properties. But, when we was marketing for properties, one of the things that we found out was that we could not do wholesaling because we had a full-time. We couldn't do it the way that we wanted to because we had a full-time job. And I'll tell you guys, that's ultimately how we got into outsourcing. But enough about me. You guys are probably sitting there asking yourself, what's flipping houses, what's wholesaling? Well, both of the terms, and I like to use them interchangeably, and wholesaling and flipping houses, I like to use them interchangeably. They both mean the same thing ultimately to me. Most people, they think about flipping houses as the shows that you see out there on HGTV where they go in, they renovate it, and then they sell it to a first-time homeowner. I look at it as being is what happens before that. All right, both of them are getting properties ultimately at a discount, a deep discount, and then reselling them to somebody that would like to pay more for that particular property. So I'm gonna give you guys an example of a deal that I just closed today. This deal was supposed to close on last Thursday. Last Thursday. But last Friday, it actually was supposed to close, but we ended up closing it today because the sellers, they had some issues. But we got a property in Philadelphia, which is my biggest virtual market. We got it under contract for $15,000. So we had a seller that was interested in selling their property to us, and we got this property through through absentee mailers, where we sent out mail pieces, direct mail pieces, postcards to owners, letting them know we were interested in buying their property. A seller got in contact with us and said, hey, I'm interested in selling my property. Well, we let them know we pay below market value for properties. Would you still be interested? And they said yes. So what we did was we got a purchase and sale agreement with the seller, a simple piece of paper that said we'll buy your property for $15,000. Well, once we got that piece of paper, it gave us marketable interest, or equitable interest into the property. So now we're able to go and market it to people who is willing to pay more, who's willing to pay us more for the property than what we have it for. So that's what we did. We actually marketed the property for $25,000, and what happened was we got a buyer that told us they was interested in buying the property for $24,700. Okay, so we went out there and we sold the property for more than what we had it for. Now, if you would have told me that somebody was able to do this before I had any knowledge in real estate, I mean, this is amazing. Like, you're able to go out there, get a property with a piece of under contract with a piece of paper, and then go sell your rights to that piece of paper for money. I mean, it's amazing. And a buyer actually, we signed that. A buyer told us they was interested in buying it for this amount, and what we did was we had the buyer sign a contract, what you call an assignment of sale contract, with us, that assigned all of our rights that we had in the contract with the seller back to this buyer. Okay? Now, the buyer, they pay us an assignment fee to take our rights in that contract. Now, the assignment fee was in the amount of $9,700. Now, that's the difference between what we had it under contract for, which was $15,000, and what we sold it to that buyer for, which was $24,700. So we closed this deal, and we made $9,700 on that deal. So that's a typical real estate deal for me, and that's mostly how all of our deals work. Now, what I'm about to give you guys is 5 simple steps on how this whole process works. Now, the 5 steps that I use is, first, you have to find a motivated seller, because if you do not find someone that is that's actually motivated in selling their property, then this whole process isn't going to work. The next step is getting that piece of paper signed by the person that owns the property. So getting the property under contract. And don't worry, guys, if I'm going too fast, I'm going to cover each section individually. Next is finding a cash buyer. And I'll give you guys some insight on how I go about finding them. And then opening escrow with either a title company or an escrow attorney. And ultimately, my favorite part by far is getting paid. I love it. It's no better feeling in the world to know that, you have money transferred to your account or you receive a check in the mail. It's my favorite part of real estate. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down to you, starting with step 1, finding the motivated seller. Now, we have several ways of finding motivated sellers. Everybody out there, they hear that you can find motivated sellers by absentee mailers. Absentee mailers are basically sending letters to people who own properties that don't live in them. And that information is public record. I mean, you guys will be surprised on what you can find out about people that's public record. So a lot of people, matter of fact, every wholesaler mails to absentee owners, which is why I don't like to mail to absentee owners. I mean, I do, but it's not my main source of marketing. We like to do Craigslist marketing. We like to mail to probates, which is when a person passes away and their heirs inherit the property. We like to go after pre-foreclosures. It's a ton of other ways that you can go out there, but ultimately it leads to you sending these individuals letters letting them know that you're interested in buying their properties. And once they start calling you, then what you do is you talk to them, you let them know that you can buy their property, you gather information about their property, And ultimately, one of the ways that we're able to get so many properties under contract and then wholesale them and flip them and make money is we build up a great rapport with our sellers. So these people that are motivated to sell, we don't let them call in and treat them like a customer. We actually treat them like they're someone in our family that's trying to sell a property, and we actually build up a great rapport. We call them by their first name. We, ask them how their day is going, and we ask them ultimately is what we just started doing is, how can we help you? And that has helped us build up a great rapport with these individuals to the point where we've had offers of other wholesalers offer more for the particular property, but these sellers, they want to deal with us because they like us. And people want to deal with people who they like. So that's what we have just recently started doing, but it's worked well for us. The next step is getting the property under contract. So these people, they like you now. Now you just got to get them to sign a piece of paper. So you get this property under contract with a simple purchase and sales agreement, which we like to keep it at one page, very simple. It basically says that we're going to purchase this property for X amount of dollars. This is the date that we're going to close on that property, and then we get them to sign the bottom with their signature, our signature, and a date. Very simple. You don't need any money. The only thing you have to put on this paper for earnest money deposit is, and for you, those of you who don't know what an earnest money deposit is, it's that $2,000 that I gave that buyer that left, and they took it and they left, and he left, and I never heard from him again. But in these contracts, and what I learned after that whole process is that you can put $1 down, and that makes the contract binding. So therefore, you have equitable interest in that property, and you can then go around and flip it to someone else. So all of our earnest money deposits on our contracts ranges from $1 to $10. And sometimes the seller will ask for more, but we don't put it in their PayPal account for sure. We put it in escrow with the title company. The next step after we get that contract signed is we go out there and we find somebody that's willing to pay more for the property than we have it for. Now, you're probably saying, why would somebody pay more for it? Well, because that's the skill that we have as wholesalers, and is that we're able to get properties at such a deep discount that even though we go out there and advertise it for more than what we have it for, people still see that it's a deal and they're willing to pay more for it. So that's what we do. We go out there and we find people who are willing to pay more. And the ways that we go about doing this is, and I'm going to give you guys the way that I do it locally, because I'm assuming that you guys will be doing it locally. But the way that I do it virtually is I find a wholesaler that's doing a ton of deals out there, and I just have them bring me a buyer, and we split the cost. But I do deals locally here in Richmond, Virginia, and I have to find buyers myself. So the way that I go about finding buyers is I go out there and I go to real estate investment club meetings. I meet with buyers that are actively buying. And how do I know if they're buying? Well, you just ask around. And people, they'll say, hey, oh, yeah, that guy, he's over there, he's flipping properties. Or you'll overhear somebody talking, oh, yeah, I just flipped the property on such and such street. Well, those are the people that I'm going to get in and know with, and I'm going to talk to them and network with them and say, hey, what are you looking for, so that I can eventually bring deals to you. Another way is I go to public record. I look for properties that was purchased in the last 6 months that are absentee owners, and those are people who own properties that don't live in them, and ultimately those are going to be your buyers, people who are buying, and they're buying as an investment in most cases. And then I send them letters telling them, hey, I have properties, or if you may be interested in this property, give me a call. Another way that I go about it is I use LinkedIn, Facebook, social networks. I find people who have the terms real estate investors, or their interest is real estate, and I get in contact with them, and I let them know, hey, I'm an investor, and I let them know what I do. So those are just some of the ways that I find cash buyers. Craigslist, I post the property on Craigslist. I get a lot of interest. I place bandit signs that say investor special, 39K, call me. I get a ton of calls from that. But finding people to buy your stuff is not hard. If it's a deal, people will recognize that, and they will call you, and they'll want to do business with you. That's not
that is
hard.
so true. That is so true, Mike. If you just allow me to jump in here for a second. You mentioned earlier that a lot of folks kind of wonder sometimes why why would someone buy a deal from me at a markup? Here I am, I got this, this awesome opportunity here in my hands, but why would somebody pay me, 5, 10, or 50 grand more than what I have it under contract for? And, what I always tell my folks is, look, it's the same concept as, what you do when you go to the grocery store. A lot of folks go to the grocery store and they go buy produce. They might go buy seafood, they buy some fish. And the reason why you go to the grocery store to buy fish is because you don't want to go to the river and swing a pole and put some bait on it. So the activity that you're paying for and the markup that you pay for when you go to Safeway and you buy that fish is you're paying that fisherman and the guy that put it in the truck and so on and so forth. And basically all they're doing in many cases is wholesaling that product. So it's no different from that. The rehabbers that would buy your deals or the buy and hold landlords that will buy your deals are paying you for the service that you provide, with the time, energy, and effort that you put in to go out and find these deals. You bring it to them, you put it on a silver platter, and that's what they're paying you for.
Nice. I got to use that one, man. I like that was a good analogy.
It's definitely it's something that puzzles a lot of people, but again, in business you get paid for either service or products, and actually in wholesaling you're getting paid for both. You provide a service and you also offer a product.
Exactly. And and one of the things that my buyers love about me is that I just wrote an article as well that said why real estate wholesalers are experts. And ultimately what that article stated was that real estate wholesalers are experts because they have to do the job of the rehabber, the agent, and also the buy and hold investors, and they have to go out there and get these properties cheaper and find them first before the agents do, and then get them cheaper than the rehabber or the buy and hold guy will get them. And one of the things that my buyers love about me is that what I do is I look on MLS, and if I have a property on 123 Main Street, I'm looking at other properties around that property that are selling in as is condition, and I'm putting my price below what that property is selling for. So if my buyers come to me and they see my property and they go look out on MLS, what they're going to see is that my property it sticks out like a sore thumb. And usually I will get close to market value or market value for my properties because I go out there and I do that. So for those of you who are doing this, that's also a good practice that you want to you may want to implement in your business. All right, so step 4, I have somebody who's willing to buy this property. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to open up escrow. Now, what escrow is basically you sending off the contract, the purchase and sale agreement to the title company or a closing attorney. And then what they'll do is they'll open up escrow to where you can place the buyer's deposit into the escrow account. And once the deal closes, then that escrow will go towards the actual purchase of the property. And ultimately, you like to lock your buyers up, lock them in, and I like to have them put down $1,000 in escrow, which basically says that, hey, they're going to buy this property, and if not, then that $2,000 is going to come to us. It's non-refundable. So once the escrow is open, they put that money in. I know that they're going to buy this property unless something is wrong with the title. And if they dig back out, then the money is not theirs anymore. They lose their money. Okay, and step 5 is getting paid. And just to show you guys some previous checks from some deals that we did like last year, just some of them. But we've done this, and we've been successful. We've made $6,000 on one, $941 On on another one, 14,000, 3,000, 5,000, 1,000, 12,000, 4,500. Just some of the checks. This isn't even half of them, but it works. It definitely works. And most of these deals that I've done, I've been able to do them with only putting less than an hour's work in because, like I said, I virtual wholesale to the point where I outsourced all of this. So what can you do right now that can start making you money? And one of the things that I like to tell people is I'm not going to tell you something that doesn't work. This technique that I'm about to teach you guys, I actually do this, and I do this, and I've actually done it this weekend, and it's going to turn into a deal that's going to make me a lot of money. But I have a video on YouTube, and for those of you that want to check it out, youtube.com/wholesalinghouses101.com. But my technique that I love the most is what you call driving for dollars. And my son is if you look at this picture, my son is in the back seat. He loves this. I mean, whenever I have him in the car with me, he'll say, "Dad, can we go driving for dollars?" And
right.
What driving for dollars is driving for dollars is you're in your vehicle, you're driving around a neighborhood, and you're looking for properties that look like they're vacant, the grass hasn't been cut, the trash hasn't been taken out, or for some reason or another the property doesn't look like it's lived in. And what you do is you get the address to that property, and you go in public record and you find the current mailing address for that particular seller. The owner of the property. I take that back. You don't know if they're selling just yet. But this video that I have on YouTube actually shows you how to do that. So that's why I wanted to post that. But just to give you guys an example, just this past Friday, I was out. I went to go get something to eat, and I was in a nice neighborhood, and I said, hey, I would like to get a property in this neighborhood. So I started driving around the neighborhood, and I was looking for houses that fit the criteria that I just mentioned to you guys. And I found one house, and it looked like what you call a vacant property. I mean, this property, and it wasn't one that you would drive past and you'll just say, oh, it's vacant, it looks like a property that shouldn't be on this block. The property was it was kept up. The grass was cut, but when I looked at it, it didn't have any blinds in the windows. You can see inside, so you knew that the property was empty. And right. It just looked like it wasn't kept up. But it wasn't.
Stickers are usually a big giveaway as well.
Exactly.
Stickers in the windows and things like that.
Exactly. And I took the address down. Matter of fact, I didn't take the address down right away because it didn't have a number on the property. But I knew the street name, and I drove down the street to the corner, and I counted the houses off, and I said, okay, this one is 1155. So what I did was I pulled out my iPad, and I go and I find, because it seemed like it was just too good to pass up. So what I did was I pulled up my iPad, I went to the county record, the county website, and I found out that the person who lived in the home the person who owned the home didn't live there. So what I then did was I have a system called Accurate where I can pull up information. I can skip trace people, and I can find out where they currently live. Well,
all right, you got to give us one more time, Mike.
What's that?
You got to give us that one more time. What was that source you said you used?
It's called Accurate, ACCURINT. And
okay.
And what I did was and this is a subscription site. I think I pay like $250 a month. But okay. I looked at his current address, which was like 30 miles away from where I live, and I found a phone number for him while doing that skip trace. So I pull out my cell phone and I call this guy, and the guy answers the phone. And I'm just saying, hey, I introduce myself. Hey, this is Mike Nelson. I'm actually interested in the property that you own at I forget the street name. And I said, would you be interested in selling it? And this guy, he says, yeah. He said, how did you find me? I said, I do a little magic here and there, but I told him I pulled his information from a public record. So I get this guy on the phone, and he said, I told him I pulled his information. He said, yeah, I am interested in selling it. He said, have you drove past there? I said, yeah, I'm outside of the house. And he said, I gutted the property about 4 or 5 years ago, and it's completely gutted. And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, man, I would love to get this property off.
Isn't that just an awesome high, man? That'll make your day, man. You're out there and you're hunting and you score like that, man.
It was like, and when I'm on the phone with him, I'm just like, wow, like this is too good to be true. But it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop there though. So I'm on the phone with him, and he tells me he guts it, and then he tells me he's willing to sell it below market value just because of the condition that it's in. And I'm thinking to myself, this is okay. This is even better. And to add on to that, he tells me that he's going through a divorce right now.
Oh wow. Talk about shooting ducks in a barrel.
Yeah, all of these things are adding up. And he's telling me he's going through a divorce, and his lawyer told him not to sell it until he finishes divorce. But I was actually thinking about putting it into a land trust because the property's not in his wife's name, and she didn't include it in the divorce. But I mean, his divorce is May 5th, so I'm going to just wait till after May 5th. I told him I'm going to call him next month to stay in contact with him. But this is going to potentially turn into a good deal. He wants to sell it to me. We talked about it, and I'm guaranteed that I'm actually going to buy this property myself and rehab it.
Definitely.
But it's a good deal, and I found it from Driving for Dollars. So that just tells you guys that it works, and I do this myself. So I mean, it definitely works.
And I know some folks, when you said that service that you use is a subscription service, mm-hmm. I know some folks are probably like, oh Lord, I'm gonna have to fork over $250. But when you think about it, I mean, Mike, just off of having that service and doing that one deal, Mike could probably pay for 10 years worth of service and still have a boatload of money left over to spend as profit.
Exactly.
Okay, so sometimes you have to ask yourself the question, instead of saying, can I afford this, you have to say, can I afford not to have this? Exactly. These tools are out here for a reason, and if you use them correctly, they become assets and not liabilities. So you definitely got to take advantage of any sites that you have and be disciplined with your funds. If you close a deal, don't go blow it all on a new car. Don't go party and just fund it up and say, wow, that was a great experience, and then you're back to square one, right? Take some of those funds and reinvest them in your business. I'm a firm believer in that. Even in my traditional sales business, I would say I invest probably somewhere in the order of 50% of my profits go right back into my business because I'm always thinking of marketing and expanding and growing my business, and it's paying off. It's paying off. So,
exactly.
Don't be afraid to spend. It comes back tenfold.
Exactly, man. But what I just taught you guys, it doesn't even compare to how I've been able to outsource my business. And the bonus that I want to give you guys, that's me right there. I'm actually working on a laptop and on the cell phone, but I'm doing business. I'm flipping properties. I'm flipping houses, and all I needed is my laptop and my cell phone, and I'm able to do this. But I'm going to just give you guys a brief overview of how my business looks right now. I currently have 5 virtual assistants. I have 5. Matter of fact, I have 5 virtual assistants full time, and I have a couple of other virtual assistants that are part time or on an on-call basis for me. Just to give you guys an overview, I have 3 virtual assistants, or actually, I have 4 virtual assistants that talk to sellers on the phone. These are individual. Their only task is to talk to sellers. And what they do is when sellers call in, they leave a message telling us about their property, and my assistant then gathers that message, and they call back these sellers, and they build up a good rapport with them. But then also what they're doing is getting more information about the property that we would need in order to give them a good figure on what we can pay for the property. So they sense the motivation for the seller. They send that information back to me, but at this point, you didn't hear me say anything about me talking on the phone to the sellers because I don't do that anymore. I haven't talked to a seller, in my outsource markets, I haven't talked to a seller in forever. And it's amazing because I don't have to do that, so I'm able to focus on other aspects of my business like marketing. Then also, once they send that information to me, what I'm able to do is I'm able to look at the properties and I'll see which ones look like good deals, and I'll send them off to partners that I have on the ground who is ultimately going to go out there and visit the property and talk to the sellers and then get the property under contract. So at no point have I talked to a seller or have I visited a property. So I'm able to just sit back, like in this picture, and still flip properties by just relaxing. So my guys on the ground, they visit the property. My virtual assistants who are in the Philippines, they're taking the calls in, sensing for motivation, and then they're sending the leads to me, and then I send them off to my partners. Then once we get the property under contract, what my guys on the ground do is they go out there and they find buyers for these properties, and they lock them up, and they open the escrow, and then they take the deposit, and then we close on the properties, and I'll get a text message or email saying, what bank account do you want to transfer the funds to?
Wow. Now, hopefully you guys are absorbing this because, you know, what Mike is talking about, if you really are paying attention, right, what Mike is talking about is, number one, it's the future of wholesaling. It's the future of business in general, number one, in the broader perspective. But definitely when it comes to wholesaling, it's the future of wholesaling, right? And number two, if you're really listening to what he's saying, he's basically saying that the entire United States of America is your market. Like you're not even limited to that in a way of speaking, you know. But if you wanted to focus on all 50 states and find deals in all 50 states, you can do that. And you don't have to be on the plane, you know, zipping and zapping and staying in hotels and doing all these different things. I mean, you literally, like he said, can be sitting on a couch at home, right? And you're making money hand over fist, but you know, it's something that you have to build. I'm in the process of building that business myself. You know, I've done several deals that are in virtual markets where I haven't been to the property. You know, and it's a beautiful thing because, you know, it's very liberating to know that you're not just limited to being right here in the DMV. You know, you literally can do deals all over the U.S. And, you know, you might be wondering, well, why would someone want to be down on the field, you know, going to see these properties for me? You have to put systems in place to incentivize them to do that. You know, you'd be surprised at how many people are willing to take on certain tasks and do certain activities, and they might not be in it for the big payday like you are. You know, they may just be looking, you know, you might find a student, you know, that just wants to make sure that he has some gas money and he's able to pay for lunch and a few books.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, there are various people out there. You know, you get guys that are not tech savvy. You know, they have, you know, technophobia, right? So they don't want to see a laptop, let alone be on social media, you know, trying to gain some business. But they're so old school that they're willing to get out there and drive for dollars. You know, that maybe they've been in the same neighborhood for 30 years, you know, and they know this neighborhood like the back of their hand, and they're willing to get out there and beat the streets for you, you know, but they're in California. You know, but that just happens to be one of your target markets. You know, maybe you post a Craigslist advertisement in California. You say, hey, I'm looking for someone to join my company and work for me on a commission basis, right? And you lay out all the terms. You set up a little phone interview, and before you know it, bam, you got another team member, and you literally set up team members in any given market, and like Mike said, before you know it, you're just getting a phone call saying, hey, which account should I send this wire to? I mean, that is a beautiful way of doing business.
Exactly, man. And one of the things that I told you guys that I was going to talk about in the beginning was how to become consistent in your business. And one of the ways that I've been able to become consistent is I've opened up my marketing funnel where I don't just have one source of marketing. Like if I was to do absentees, I don't just have absentees. And like I told you, I still hit absentees even though everyone else is hitting it. But I also have 5 to 7 different marketing channels. And the way that I look at it is if I'm able to close one deal from each channel per month, then I'm going to hit my goal. I'll be able to close. My goal is actually 6 properties per month, and I'm able to close that amount. And if I have 7 and one falls off, then I still meet my goal. But if all of them hit, then I exceed my goals. So what I'm able to do is I have different marketing channels, and I don't put any effort into them myself. I hire people to do those for me. So what I'm able to do is I'm able to hire people like Arunda said, is I'm able to hire people, and I posted a Craigslist ad. I seen who was interested in working off a commission, and then I tell them, hey, you can go down to the courthouse and you can pull probates for me, probate records. They go down there every Friday, and actually they're on commission plus hourly. I'll pay them $10 per hour to go down there and to pull records. I actually just hired I hired a girl locally here who pulls records for me, and she just went down to the probate office today, and she taught, and I didn't have to, and guys, I didn't even have to teach her because I knew the probate office and I knew the guy that works there. He's great at educating people. So I told her, I said, go down there, talk to him, pick his brain, spend hours there, and he'll tell you what you need to do. She spent 2 hours down there. She brought me back 8 properties. I called one of them was interested in selling, and I did all of that I got all of that information. She stayed down there 2 hours, and I paid her $20. She went. This was on Friday. Then I had her go back today. She spent an hour and a half, and she brought me back 10 properties, and I only had to pay her $15. So, and also I'll pay her $500 on any deals that I close, but it's worth it. Because they're going down there and they're doing all of the work and bringing you leads so that you don't have to do it. So I don't have to go down there and spend 2 hours. I don't have to go down there and spend 5 hours doing this because I'm paying somebody else to go down there and do it. So that's one source of leads that I'm able to do. Then what you're able to do is I'm able to hire somebody to drive for dollars for me, and I'll pay them per hour. So if they spend 2 hours out there, they're making $20. But they come back and they bring you 20 properties. And you can also pay them and to go out there and to pull the information from the county record for you and put it in an Excel spreadsheet, so all you have to do is just upload it to whatever site you send your postcards off to, and then they'll send it off and you'll have people calling your phone. Okay? So I'm able to outsource marketing tasks, and I also do this with people hanging bandit signs in cities that is 300 miles away from me. I hire somebody, I drop ship the bandit signs to them, I tell them what locations I want it to be placed in, they go and they place them for me. And we get calls from that. So I'm sitting here orchestrating a business from my laptop, from my computer, from my cell phone, and leads are just coming in. They're coming in, but I'm not answering the phone, I'm not visiting any properties, and I'm not finding any buyers for these deals. I'm just making sure everything
awesome.
Is so,
and I just want to throw one other thing out there. Guys, Mike is 26 years old. Am I correct, Mike?
Yeah, you're correct.
Mike is 26 years old, and this guy is doing it, right? So, there's no excuse. I mean, if you have any desire to get out here and be successful in this business, a lot of you guys, you tune into a lot of my webinars, and I definitely appreciate that, and I respect that tenacity, and keep that up, keep that desire up. But in addition to you having desire, you got to take action. You got to take action. When you take these notes, and, sometimes it's just a small thing that you can pick up, that would make a huge difference in your business. And Mike is doing it. I mean, Mike is getting out there. You can check him out on YouTube. You can Google him, and, you just find a wealth of information on this guy. And, if you have any fear, any intrepidation about wholesaling, just listening to this guy's experience, that should take away a lot of that fear and uncertainty. You listen to this guy. He had a big blunder in the beginning, but he got up, he dusted himself off, and before you know it, he's slamming down, deals left and right. And of course it wasn't easy, but he was persistent. He stayed at it. He made his offers. He put together his game plan, and he stuck to that game plan. And I think him and I share, the same sentiment on the topic of being consistent. If you're not consistent in this business, then you're dreaming about wholesaling. You're thinking about wholesaling, but you're not consistently taking action to get out there and turn this idea that you have in the back of your head into a reality. And the only way you see the fruits, if you will, of your labor is if you do it consistently. I know based on my experience of wholesaling, in the beginning, anything you do is tough. If you're getting on a bike, you're trying to ride a bike, that's tough in the beginning. You're going to fall off a couple times, but you keep at it. You keep trying. And now I can tell you, I can wholesale a deal in my sleep. Literally, I can evaluate a deal. A lot of times I wholesale deals and I don't even blast them out, which is not really the best practice, but I've kind of gotten a little comfortable, and, I've got some buyers that I know will consistently buy my deals. And, the bottom line is that, it became easier over time, but that didn't happen overnight. I went through a lot of tough deals. Some I lost money on. Some maybe I made a little bit of money. But the bottom line is, because I took consistent action, now I'm in a position where, I can make money, and I'm not always worried about, okay, when am I going to get my next commission check? I know that if I just take some time, I concentrate, I look for good deals, put them under contract, I know I got a commission, a wholesale fee coming to me that, a broker doesn't have his hand in, and, pretty much is 100% profit.
Exactly.
So let me ask you this, Mike. With these virtual assistants, right, what sources are you using? I think you mentioned Craigslist. Is there one main source that you use when you're looking to hire a virtual assistant?
Well, my assistants who answer the phones for me, they're actually located in the Philippines. So I hire them on a site called odesk.com. Now,
right.
I also have the assistants that are local. I hire all of them on Craigslist. Now, that's the only site that I use to hire local assistants. I want to find a better site. If there's anything out there that anybody knows, please share it with me, because I want to find a better site, because what I'm finding is a lot of people are doing the same thing for other people. And if you put an ad on Craigslist for property locator, then what you're going to find is you're going to find somebody who's going to send all of these properties to every investor in the area. What I did was I've hired people who are I just make a job title as an assistant. And what will happen is you'll get different people that wouldn't necessarily be a property locator, but they're going to go out there and they're going to apply to this assistant job. And then once you interview them, you just let them know what the task is of the position. So that's one thing we've been trying recently. But Craigslist is the only site that I use to hire people on the ground in the United States.
Guys, we are in such a time of opportunity right now, and hopefully that answers your question, Erlene, because I see you sent a text, a chat message here asking the question, where does he hire his VAs from, and what is the cost. I use Odesk myself, and that was kind of like a trick question there, because I knew Mike was going to suggest Odesk, because all of the top guys now that are out here hiring their VAs, usually, there are many sites that you can go to, but Odesk just seems to be the most customer friendly. They have different tools where you can actually check the progress of that virtual assistant to make sure that they're actually working during the times that they say they're working. They have these screen capture devices where, in different intervals, they'll check and they'll do a screen so that VA is working. So that is definitely a great source. I've hired VAs from Odesk, and it's something that everybody should consider, because you can get VAs on Odesk as little as $2.50 an hour. I believe they even have some lower than that. But obviously, you do get what you pay for. But even at $2.50 an hour, you can get someone that's very hardworking. A lot of those folks out there, I think the guy on the last webinar, he said they are so focused at what they do, a lot of times it's challenging to him. Like, can you imagine that you hire somebody and you give them one or two tasks to do, which, by the way, is the best way to work with a virtual assistant. You give them a set, regimented activity list, and you just let them go, right?
Exactly.
But this guy said that his VAs are so focused that it's actually challenging to him at the level of focus that these guys are working at.
Definitely.
So, quality of workmanship, and the quality of work ethics that you're buying for pennies on the dollar. It's like, come on, why would you not do? Can you afford not to hire a virtual assistant?
You can't. I would have went broke if I didn't have a virtual assistant right now. You can't. I think that if you want to, and I'm gonna give you two reasons why you need to hire virtual assistants. If you want your business to expand, then you're going to have to hire employees. If you want your business to expand now, and you don't necessarily have the funds to get there, these virtual assistants are going to be, the labor isn't going to be as much as you was to go out there and hire somebody full time. Now, for my local virtual assistants, I'm able to pay them $10 an hour, which is affordable because they're not going out there working 80 hours or 40 hours a week.
Right.
And, I can spend under $100 a month getting leads that is ultimately I'm going to get a return on my investment, which is astronomical. I'm able to get a great return on that investment of $100 once I land even one deal. Imagine 2, 3. Now, my assistants that are in the Philippines, now I'm able to get them to work full time for around $3 per hour. Now, if you're sitting over there saying, okay, well, you're paying them $3 an hour, isn't that below minimum wage? No. My virtual assistant is actually living above her means in the Philippines, and I'm not saying it just to say that because I pay them $200 per deal closed. So if I close, 5 deals, they're making a ton of money. So, my assistant can make around $1,500 to $2,000 a month, but that's not coming out of my pocket. That's coming out of the deals that they bring me every month from just talking to these sellers and then sending leads to me and then to my partners. So it's not like I'm paying them out of my pocket. I'm paying them out of the deals that they bring me. And you cannot afford not to hire some virtual assistants.
And then when you think of the currency exchange as well, you think of the exchange rate. And, what that hourly rate means to them, according to their currency, it may be well above what the minimum wage is,
Exactly.
And there are different websites that you can go to that, you can put in, $5 American and it will translate to what it equates to in their currency, So I think I heard it from another gentleman who I actually listened to on another webinar, and he said one of the biggest things that you can do for yourself in this business, right, if you really want to make money, stop asking why. Just accept that there are people out there that you can pay $2.50 an hour, right? And they will completely turn your business around. But if you question it and you say, well, I don't know why someone would do that, and I don't feel comfortable with that, and and then you're asphyxiated, with this old school way of thinking that you have to have someone in your office that you have to look over their shoulders and you got to train them and you got to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do. And then you realize that person's going to be $15 an hour, right? And then you say, okay, well, let me save up and I'm going to put it off until next year sometime when I'm able to hire them full time, and then you never get any deals done. Instead of just accepting right up front that, hey, look, I can hire somebody for a few dollars an hour, and they are literally, again, going to turn my business around completely. So I know we're getting a little past 8 o'clock here, and I don't think anybody wants to miss the President's fourth State of the Union address. I know definitely I'm not going to miss it. So we're going to be letting you guys go here in a few. But I definitely want to give it up for Mike. Mike, again, my hat goes off, man, for a young brother to be out here, putting it down the way you're putting it down, man. I'm definitely impressed. By the way, you guys, if you like what you hear now, I think you all will agree that it's very difficult for someone to give you all of their knowledge and all of their information within a 1 hour span. For somebody to really, really pack in and convey all of that experience into a 1 hour session, I mean, you're literally getting the tip of the iceberg of what this guy knows. So Mike has agreed to come out and do a live presentation at our next club meeting, which is on February 23rd in Greenbelt, 6305 Ivy Lane, Suite 100 at the CEO Cafe. So on February 23rd, doors open at 9 a.m. If you want to hear more of what Mike has to teach you guys, you definitely want to make sure you're there. You want to come out with your laptop, your iPad, your cell phone, or just a regular old notepad and pen, but you want to be taking copious notes. I mean, you want to write until your hand gets tired or your thumbs get tired from typing on that keyboard, because this guy's got a wealth of information. As an experienced wholesaler myself, I know somebody that knows their stuff just by listening to them for 5 minutes, and this guy definitely knows his stuff. So if you want to get more of what you've heard tonight, make sure you're in the building on February 23rd. Mike's going to be there live. I can't wait to shake this guy's hand and meet him in person and, hopefully learn some more, learn some more of what he knows, because, that's my attitude. I'm never in the position of knowing too much about wholesaling. Tonight I picked up a great tip. I had never heard of this Accurate service, and this is obviously something that would help me in my business. It would help all of you guys in your business. So if you come out and you just learn one new trick, it's been worthwhile, for you to get involved. So is there anything else you want to give him, Mike, before we close out? I do want to give you guys a little bit of information about also the next bus tour that's coming up, but I'll go ahead and give Mike, some time here if he wants to give you guys some more information before we close out.
Okay. Yeah, guys, if you like what you heard about what I had to say about wholesaling, I actually went out there and I wrote a book that teaches, it's actually a manual guide that teaches people how to actually get out there and do what it is that I do on the wholesaling side of things. And you can check that out, wholesalinghouses101.com/take action. and you guys can check that out. But yeah, that's everything, and I look forward to meeting up with you as well on the 23rd, and I can't wait. Hopefully, I'll see some guys, some of you that's on the call, and I'll love to meet you.
Awesome, man. Well, I definitely want to thank you guys for listening in. I'm sure you guys have been impressed by what you see. Mike is definitely a dynamo. I think he's got a great career ahead of him in this real estate business in general, because I don't really see this guy just doing wholesaling for the rest of his career. I'm sure this guy has a lot more bigger and better plans that he plans to take down, and with his attitude, I'm sure he'll accomplish whatever he sets his mind to. So if you can turn that over to me, Mike, I want to go ahead and give these guys some information on some of the upcoming events that we have. All right. We have a bus tour that is coming up, and, I do want to apologize right up front because we have had to reschedule this bus tour a few different times, and that's simply because we were trying to get a firm location for our next club meeting. The original spot that we were at couldn't offer us a consistent day of the month, and now that we have this new location in place, and they are willing to offer us a consistent day of the month, we decided that we were going to postpone the February 16th bus tour until March 2nd, which is just 1 week after the next club meeting. So if you're interested in actually getting out in the field and going to see some properties, having a guided tour of local real estate deals, being able to analyze these deals, figuring out Mayo, checking out comps, talking to a contractor right there on the spot who can tell you different things that you want to be paying attention to when you're going out and you're previewing some of these deals. Mike did a great job talking about virtual markets, and that's a great way to sell. But, in order for you to build your experience, especially in the beginning, it's always good for you to get out there in the field and actually touch, feel, smell, and kick around, the product. You might hurt your foot kicking a house, but you guys get my point. You want to get out there and you want to get knee deep into it. You want to get in those basements. You want to, get a good look at the roof from the backyard and just sort of build your experience so that when you are dealing in these virtual markets and somebody says, well, you got a soffit that's hanging off of the roof, if you don't already know what a soffit is, you would have built your experience by being out there in the field, taking your contractors out, and really getting a feel for this product that you're selling, this real estate. So that's what we do on these bus tours. We have a lot of fun. A lot of times we stop down at National Harbor and we have lunch. We may stop at a different location on this bus tour. Who knows? But if you're interested in going, the next one is going to be Saturday, March 2nd. And we're going to be leaving from right there, exit Bennett Realty at 9:30 a.m. Registration starts at 9, so you want to try to get there a little bit early. We know we had a few folks that kind of spilled over on the last bus tour and weren't able to make it on time, and I'd rather not have the bus driver delay. Of course, you guys know with this REIA, there's certain memberships that we offer. For the first 5 people that sign up at our highest level of membership, which is a Super Savvy membership level, you'll get a free pass to the next bus tour. Right? So that's an added little bonus that I'm throwing in for you guys today if you decide you want to sign up. Now, I actually have some sign-up forms that you guys can have access to. When you signed on to the webinar, a little dashboard popped up If you open that dashboard and you go into the little link at the bottom center that says View All, you'll be able to see the sign-up sheets that are there. And I'll actually pull one up here in just a second. Just to give you guys a brief overview of the membership levels, we have 3 different levels at Super Savvy REIA. We have the Smart membership, the Savvy membership, and the Super Savvy membership. The Smart membership is sort of an entry-level membership where you would only pay a membership of $50, which is your subscription. And with that $50 subscription, there's certain benefits that are inherent with that membership. And, of course, the benefits start to increase as the levels go up. The highest level of membership, I think, which is got the most value attached to it, is one where if you needed a realtor to actually submit offers for you, that is part of that membership benefit. So you'll have a realtor that's actually out there in the field working for you, getting offers out, which is a huge benefit. It's a huge plus. So just a brief overview here. The Smart membership offers you club meetings, contest enrollment. We have different activities and contests throughout the year to help get folks motivated to get out there and get some deals done. Webinar attendance, access to investor products. We have a lot of different speakers that we've lined up and put on the calendar for the upcoming year. Guys like Mike and other speakers that have really, really rich content and helpful products that can help you get your business off the ground and put some money in your bank account and help that bottom line. So you'll definitely have access to those investor products. You also have access to our free and paid programs. Some programs that we offer are just built into your membership. And some programs that we offer are things that you would actually have to sign up for. These are the more intense programs where we do charge a fee, but it's definitely worth the cost of you subscribing. Okay. Now the Savvy membership includes all of the benefits of the Smart membership, plus a few other bonuses, which really, really can help you to further your investing career. Monthly training calls. Okay. When you sign up as a Savvy member, we have different training calls that we do to just sort of Q&A sessions, not really formal, but things that if you have questions, you need a little guidance, you need a few tips here and there, something to just remind you to keep pushing in the right direction. We have these monthly training calls to help you get firm guidance and firm training on how you can expand your business. We also have a do a deal refund feature at the Savvy membership level, which basically means that when you sign up, if you can do your deal within the first year, we will refund you all of your membership fees up until the point that you got that deal done, right? So in addition to you getting that big fat check or that wholesale fee that you've gotten, you can also get refunded your entire membership costs up until that point. Now, what we would ask in exchange for that is just a simple testimonial. And, for those of you guys that may be camera shy, it can be a written testimonial. Well, obviously, we prefer a video testimonial, but whatever you're comfortable with, right? That's what we'd simply ask for in exchange for that refund. Deals on display sessions, right? I'm actually lining up some of the top wholesalers here in the area that we're going to meet once a month, and it's just going to be a deal frenzy. You'll be able to come into a room, which is a more intimate, this is going to be a more intimate meeting where deals will actually be on display, and you can bid on those deals. You can analyze those deals. You can partner up on those deals. It's basically something where instead of us just talking theory, we're actually wheeling and dealing. We're putting it down, we're writing contracts, and we're getting these deals done. So that's definitely an exciting feature of the Savvy membership level. Now, the Super Savvy membership level basically encompasses all of the features of the Smart membership and the Savvy membership, plus a few other exciting bonuses. Number one is the residual program. The residual program basically works where if you sign up under this Super Savvy membership level, you can actually participate in a program that would allow you to receive the first month's membership fee of anybody that you recruit to our group, right? You receive that first month's membership regardless of which level they sign up at. They can sign up at, our basic Smart level or the Savvy level or the Super Savvy level. You'd receive that first month's membership fee. And in addition to that, you receive 10% of each monthly payment for as long as that member is in good standing with Super Savvy REIA. So as long as they continue to pay, you continue to receive 10%. So that is an awesome feature. Of course, I'm an exit realty agent, so it wasn't too difficult to figure out where I got that idea from. But the bottom line is it's a great way for you to make an additional income. They say you always got to have multiple sources of income, right? If you're serious about this real estate investing thing and you decide that you want to go long-term with this can really benefit you. I mean, let's face it, you're not going to become a millionaire in six months, doing this business. You could literally, be out there in the field, 5-10 years in many cases. Now, if you're a loyal member of Super Savvy REIA, you could literally build a pipeline of income just by simply bringing people to each one of our club meetings. I mean, we do the sales pitch, and what we offer is really, really valuable, really rich content. So our turnover rate is excellent. Many of the people that come, they sign up right away because they realize that, we separate ourselves from a lot of the other clubs in that we're not just talking theory. We're getting out there in the field, we're making it happen, and we produce results. We help people, actually get out there and get deals done. So the residual program is definitely a great program for you to participate in, and, to me it's a no-brainer. If you're going to sign up for this club, I mean, this Super Savvy membership is definitely where you want to be. Also, as a Super Savvy member, you'll have a realtor that is working for you to get those offers out in the street. Now, of course, as an investor, you may want to make multiple offers, so we had to put some sort of limit in there as to how many offers can be made. So basically what we did was we allowed the investor to make 5 offers a week. So basically you can get one hot property a day and get an offer out, guaranteed. When you sign up at that Super Savvy membership level, you get one offer per day that's going out. And in the course of a week, I mean, it really starts to add up. Definitely, again, in the long run, it's a lot better than going at this investing thing. And maybe you don't have access to the MLS. Maybe you don't have access to contracts. And maybe you do pull off an offer, but it's one here and one there. Maybe 1 or 2 a month. But if you got an agent that's consistently getting those offers out there for you, and if you're analyzing these properties, a lot of times it only takes for you to see 1 or 2 good deals, a day or even a week, and you make offers on those properties. If they're properly analyzed, then, that's enough for you to land multiple deals per month. So having a realtor to work for you and get those offers out is definitely a huge, huge benefit of that Super Savvy membership level. And in addition to that, we also give you the auto feed of properties, right? I have certain keywords and save searches that I use in the MLS that literally funnel deals to me on a daily basis. And I just go through first thing in the morning, I analyze those deals, and I kind of cherry pick to figure out which ones are the deals that I want to keep, which ones are the deals that I want to analyze and make offers on. So you will have that same service. You'll have that exact same service. And, of course, it can be customized. If you want to focus on a particular county, I can customize your MLS auto feed so it will give you a certain niche market if you'd like to focus on that particular segment of the market. So, you can't beat it. I mean, you got properties coming to you. You got a realtor making those offers for you. You got a great residual program, that's an added source of income. You got deals on display. You get refunded your money if you actually do a deal. You get training calls. You got training programs. You got access to products. You got webinars with great guys like Mike, a few other people that I have lined up. You got contests to motivate you. And then you got a club, to give you support. So, I've pretty much, pulled out all the stops with Super Savvy REIA. And truthfully, this is just the beginning stage of this club. I mean, there's so many other things that I have planned for the future, and this club is definitely going to be going places. So I suggest you get on board. Now, if you guys want to take a look at that sign-up sheet, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and pull it out for you. And, again, in your dashboard, you have access to this. I just want to show you what the sign-up sheet looks like. You should have a wall that you guys see when you hit that View All link, and you'll be able to pull up the Super Savvy REIA enrollment form. Oh. Okay, I think I had something blocking it there. Okay, let me try another source here. Okay, you guys just bear with me 1 second. Okay, so this is our enrollment form, and it basically it lays out again the different membership levels that you can sign up at. So when you download this document, you just want to go through and choose your membership level, right? And we have a secured fax that you can send it back to, or if you're more comfortable with the email, you can just simply scan it and shoot it to me, directly into my inbox, and I'll go ahead and pull it off and get that process for you guys. Okay, so of course, if you have any questions, maybe you want to talk to me privately, you can give me a call. My cell number is 240-462-4703. Again, 240-462-4703. All right, so it's getting a little close to kickoff here for my main man, my ace Boone Coon, Mr. Barack Obama. He's going to be putting it down here in a few minutes, and I definitely don't want to miss that. Hopefully you guys are going to tune in as well. So hopefully this has been helpful to you. Hopefully it'll help to enrich your knowledge of this wholesaling business, and hopefully you'll take advantage of some of those resources that Mike laid out. You definitely want to get in the habit of wholesaling. One of the things I liked about Mike, and I was kind of laughing and chuckling when I saw him in the car with his son, because it was almost like I said, this dude is a brother from another mother, because I don't know if Mike is still on the call, but bottom line is, I have 4 boys, and to see Mike out there hustling, and he's got his kid in the car, it's almost like, man, me and this dude, we pretty much walk the same path. So, if you guys would like to take advantage of those resources, by all means, don't wait. Go to Odesk, post a job, just see what happens. Get those responses and set up some interviews, and don't be afraid to pull the trigger. Pull the trigger, and you'll see the benefits and the value of those ideas on the other side. Okay, so on that note, I want to thank you guys again for attending, and I will see you guys hopefully on Saturday the 23rd at 9 a.m. This is Aruna Karoma with Super Savvy REIA, signing off.